January meeting to order. Welcome everybody. Kind of a small crowd tonight, but quality over quantity.
That's right.
And first we have celebrations.
Hello ladies and gentlemen, I'm Adam Kennedy and welcome back to the District Report. I hope you had a wonderful Christmas and New Year's Eve. This month, we're going to be looking back in the month of December at some of the holiday festivities that took place, as well as the spelling bee that also occurred. To start it off, we're going to the high school. The high school hosted Polar Express Night for all of the kids at Northside. With more on the story, here's Jerry Putman-Porman.
Thank you, Adam. I am Jerry Putman-Porman, here with the District Report. We are for Polar Express Night, a night where students and parents alike can come and just enjoy some holiday festivities, and also they get to see Santa Claus. How are you enjoying the event tonight?
I think tonight is awesome. I love seeing all the kiddos out here. I think it's going great.
That's good. So what inspired you to volunteer to help out?
Well, I mean, it's just something that we do as a Northside family, so we come together, and it's just all about supporting the kids.
So far, what's been your favorite part?
My favorite, oh, well, absolutely, it had to be Santa. But this part right here is really awesome, too, because my daughter is one of the singers in this group over here. And so I love these kids. I think they're great.
Thank you for your time.
Oh, you're quite welcome. Hey, Merry Christmas.
Hello, how have you been enjoying the event so far?
This has been wonderful. I love even the changes, the nice long line for Santa's fabulous.
So what's been your favorite part so far?
I think spending time with my kids.
So what gave you the idea to come here tonight?
I have 3 kids at Northside and 1 kid's at Allen, so we're fully into it all together.
Thank you very much for your time. This event was tons of fun. I just want to thank everyone for letting us come here tonight. And I have one special guest for us here tonight.
Hi there. Back to you, Adam.
Thanks, Jerry, and thank you, Santa Claus, for all that you do. Next, we're moving to the middle school's annual spelling bee. With more on the story, here's Rebecca Largent.
Thank you, Adam. I'm Rebecca Largent, and we're here at the Silent Springs Middle School for their spelling bee, a day where students can compete in a little friendly competition to determine their smarts.
The winner of the middle school spelling bee will go on to the Benton County spelling bee, which is in Rogers in January, and then the winner of that will go on to state, and then the winner of the state goes on to national. It's really up to them. We give them the list that they can study from. A lot of them study a lot. But it's up to them. I think it's competitive because you get to go on to different levels, and so and it is the national spelling bee, so there's national rules that we all have to follow, and so I think that's why the competitiveness comes into play.
So we're here with our winner, Charles. What's it like being the winner of the spelling bee?
It's really cool. There's a lot of tricky words leading up to winning.
What was the word that you won with?
I went on the word senile, as in old and crazy, sort of.
Thank you, Charles. Congratulations. This annual event is a great opportunity for students to come together and cheer on their classmates. Thank you, middle school, for having us. We've surely enjoyed coming back. Now back to you, Adam.
Thanks, Rebecca, and congratulations, Charles, for winning the spelling bee. We look forward to seeing how you advance in the upcoming rounds. Coming up next, we're going to Allen Elementary's Holiday Bazaar, a magical Christmas experience for any child. With more on the story, here's Daniela Martinez.
Thank you, Adam. Hello, I'm Daniela Martinez here with the District Report. We are at Allen Elementary's Holiday Bazaar, a 2-day event full of activities and crafts revolving around the Christmas season. In just a moment, we'll be joined by Chelsea Handler to get a little insight on more.
So the Holiday Bazaar is something that we put on here at Allen in lieu of Christmas parties. Second graders and first graders get to come to the gym, and they participate in different stations. They rotate. Our specials teachers take care of setting it all up, and parents get to come and be with their kids instead of having to focus on setting up the activities like they do a lot of times in the classroom parties.
This year at the Holiday Bazaar we have lots of activities. The students are able to make ornaments with beads. They're able to make special cards with craft materials. They got to play a snowball game, a ring toss game, and all the things are related to winter and Christmas, and so it's just really fun to do that with the students.
So the activities that we have at the Holiday Bazaar have varied each year. This year they are getting to make Christmas cards, they're getting to make Christmas ornaments, and then they had a fun surprise also and got a treat from the shaved ice truck.
The reason behind it is that Ms. Johnson really wanted a way to involve parents directly with parties. There's a lot more space in the gym and we can accommodate more families and younger siblings as well. And so it gave us a chance to partner with the parents and families and not have to put the planning so much on the parents, but letting them be able to come and enjoy time with their students and families.
Thank you, Ms. Chandler, for letting us interview you. What a joy to see an event letting kids get into the Christmas spirit. Back to you, Adam.
Thanks, Daniela. I'd like to give a special thank you to the school district for making this Christmas season quite a special one for all the kids across the schools. Well, that's all we have for you this month. Thank you so much for watching the District Report, and we'll see you next time.
That was good.
Yes, sir. Our next celebration, I'm going to turn it over to Rob Lindley to introduce one of our teachers at the high school.
Good evening. Real concerned about that old and, was it crazy, the senile? Yes.
Senile.
Yeah, that's, why they put old, I don't understand. I'm quickly discovering what I'm sure you guys already know, and that's the fact that we have some outstanding educators in our district, and one right here. Come on up, Miss Juliana. She's the one we're referring to. Miss Tuff was recently in the fall recognized as the Region 6 Choir Director of the Year. Region 6 is composed of schools from Rogers, Harrison, Bentonville, Mountain Home, Bergman, Pea Ridge, Decatur, Flippin, and Siloam Springs. Just to give you a little bit about some accomplishments, she came to Siloam, she says, in 2014, and I think in 2016 her choir consisted of 90 students and 3 choirs. This year it's 5 choirs and 190 students. So she has grown this thing exponentially. She consistently has choirs that receive a superior rating. That's the highest rating possible at region and state choir assessments. One of the requirements for receiving the Region Choir Director of the Year includes the program must have 3-year history of superior ratings on the choral performance assessment. So not only does she do it once, she does it on a regular basis. I will finish with a quote from the chairperson for Region 6 from Rogers High School, is Dr. Ryan Fox, and this is what he says about Ms. Tufts. Juliana is a gifted musician, teacher, choir director. Under her leadership, the choirs at Siloam Springs High School have risen to a level of excellence that places them among the best high school choirs in the state of Arkansas. This award recognizes the outstanding work that Juliana has done and Siloam Springs is and in the Siloam Springs district, and she is much deserving of it. So I'll turn it over to her, and you guys can quiz her. But great job. We're proud of you.
Thank you. Well, I just wanted to say thank you so much for this opportunity to come here, and thank you for the recognition. I love this place so much. My husband and I moved here 6 years ago, and we're just so happy to call it home. We have a almost 4-year-old daughter that we just are so excited to get to raise in this community. We've just fallen in love with it. I know I've had some of your students, I had Lainey, and I just love them so much. The kids are great. They make it just so easy to come to work every day, and I mean, they just make my job fun. I love waking up in the morning and coming. There's usually not a day where I'm tired, but there's not a day where I'm just like, I don't want to go to work. I love it. And the kids just make it easy for me. So thank you very much.
Thank you.
I'm done.
And before we get to the next one, I will say that at our December board meeting, it was the same night as Christmas concert that the choir had at the high school. So I left here that evening and went to the Christmas concert. I didn't get to see much of it, but the part I did get to see was fantastic. And I had to stand in the back corner of the theater because there was not a seat in the house. But I appreciate Ms. Tufts and everything she's done for our choral program. And we got to see some of the beginnings of your choral program at the intermediate school today. We toured we got to go through the music classroom and the piano lab. And anyway, that was a neat experience for our board members, and I think that helps build you all's program at the secondary level.
Thank you. And I'd also like to thank Mr. Wells for coming in here. He's a big help here at the high school and the middle school. So Darlene at the middle school, they're pretty cool because they're building a huge program at the middle school, which just feeds into the high school program. And it's just, and we're such a great team. We work so well together. It's just, it's really fun to see it grow and just, it's a great job.
Thank you very much. All right, our next celebration comes from middle school, and I'm going to turn it over to Jacob.
Good evening. While the arts is an important aspect, we also have physical athletic and physical education and athletics as part of that growth and development. So I'd like to introduce to you Mr. Michael Smith. He is our new PE coach that we hired this year. And one of the things that really persuaded us that he was the right guy was his vision for their PE program. And he has been gung-ho from day one of getting in the type of program that not only allows our students to be able to grow and develop and understand the various aspects, but how do I understand myself in those things as well? So he's really made it to where students can identify in themselves. So part of what we wanted to do is expand the opportunities for the types of events that students can participate in. And so he has been working very hard at trying to secure grants and programs to give our students some additional experiences that they may not get anywhere else from here. And so I'm going to turn it over to you to let him share what he has applied for and what we just received recognition of and receiving for the overall attempt of what we want to try to build in our PE program. Mr. Michael Smith.
Thank you. So as Dr. Hayward said, when I was hired for this job, I had a vision for our physical education department. A lot of times we get mixed up and confused with physical education as athletics. And as a varsity football coach and track, I wanted to make sure that the students in the middle school knew that our physical education department was going to be something that they could enjoy, something they could excel in, as well as something that they would benefit from, not just here at the middle school, but throughout the remainder of their lives. Health is a big aspect in our world today. I mean, we're dealing with the tough realization that obesity is there. So in September of 2019, with the help of our administration, I applied for the 2019-2020 Conservation Educational Grant with the Arkansas Game and Fish. On January 1st or so, right after the new year, when we returned back here to school on the 6th, we received a letter that the Silent Springs Middle School was awarded with that grant. And that was out of all the schools. From what I understand, there was about 32 schools that applied for it, and we received over 1/3 of that funding to establish what's called the Arkansas National Archery in Our Schools program. So we're now bringing archery to our students here at the middle school. And aside from that, we've also, this year, this school year, we've incorporated fishing, navigation, compasses, all sorts of things to help kids get that general realization of life skills and those activities they can do, because the way I explain it to my kids is when you wake up one day with children of your own, you're going to wake up and you're going to take your kids to the pond and go fishing. You're not going to take them to a gym and go play basketball. So our kids have bought in, our administration's great, but with their help, we're really excelling this program. It's going beyond what I ever dreamed of, but we're not done yet. But we just wanted to announce that we're the recipients of the 2019-2020 Arkansas Game and Fish Conservation School Grant. So.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, Michael.
Great vision there. That's good. Really good. Thank you.
I think that concludes our
Does that conclude our celebration?
Our celebration.
Other than our trip to the intermediate school today with Mr. Hornbuckle. Thank you so much. That music, what was it? Or what?
Orff.
Orff. That was really cool. That is neat. So we're enjoying. Well, I'll speak for all of us and myself. I'm enjoying all of our trips and getting to see stuff that I had no idea was around. So thank you. It was fun. Thank you. All right, Bambi, let the minutes show we have an established quorum. And the first item will be to approve the minutes of the regular board meeting of December 12th. Oh, I did. Thank you. I marked it. Look at here. Comments from patrons? Thank you. Now, do we want a motion to approve the minutes of the December board meeting?
So moved.
Thank you.
Second.
All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Now we'll go to reports, and Mr. Wiggins has all of the reports tonight, so sit back and enjoy.
Mr. Wiggins show. Amy and Shane are both in Little Rock today, or have been in Little Rock today, going to a training together. So I'm going to take up the slack. I've got 6 things to report on. First off, Northside Elementary, the administration remodel over there, went over and toured yesterday, and then I think Shane met Michael over there yesterday afternoon. Shane gave me a report, and so I'll hit the highlights here. We are 95% of sheetrock is up and ready to paint and texture. HVAC's complete up to the fixtures and regulation. Plumbing's complete other than fixtures. Electrical is complete other than outlets and fixtures, and still on schedule to complete it by the end of February. So we're moving forward over there. Really our only holdup right now, they've had to slow down a little bit because they've got some glass frames for the corner of the office, and they're waiting for those to be custom made and shipped. But that's kind of the only holdup right now. They've been going very well, very fast. Went to the track yesterday for a final walkthrough with our construction team and our engineers. Everything over there as far as the track construction is complete and top notch. And we gave the green light for our coaches to put the jump pits out there yesterday. So there's pole vault pit, high jump pits out there. They were out practicing them yesterday. And heard today that while we were on our tour that it's like running on air. That's the quote we heard today. So I think everything over there is good. Our only problem is keeping the dirt in place through our next storm tomorrow. We have no grass growing anywhere, so they'll have to come back and reshape it until we can get some grass growing out there. So we still have a few things to do around the outside, fencing, some concrete work, and finishing the bathroom remodel. But that's us, not the construction crew. Everything's going good there. Just a couple of things to let you know about. I have signed an MOU, Jason Carter and I have signed an MOU for the United States Department of Agriculture to do a survey in our school about food quality and nutrition. And so they are working through a third party called Mathematica. We've signed an MOU for them to come in and do, it's a limited survey. I think they're going to ask 32 students and parents to give feedback. I'm just letting you know. In case somebody says I got something strange in the mail about lunches, you'll at least know what's going on. Co-op, our co-op, I don't know how to approach this. Our co-op in the past has served our special ed students in pre-K with multiple services. And so they come on site and give services to our pre-K kids, and they even serve some of our kids in our district who are not in our pre-K. But that is a responsibility that we have as a district, but our co-op has done that for all the schools in Northwest Arkansas for a long period of time. And in the past, the funding for that has gone to them because they turned in how many kids they were serving, and then the money flowed from the department to them. There's a change for next year. in that that money is going to come to us. We want the co-op to still serve those kids, though. It's been working. I apologize. It's been working for a long time, so we want that to continue, and all the other districts do as well. So next year, we will have to turn around and send that money to the co-op. Next month, I'll be presenting an MOU to you all. I just wanted to give you a heads up because I think if they presented today, they want us to have it signed at the February board meeting. I haven't gotten a final draft of that, but we'll be talking about that next month, and I just wanted to give you a heads up of what that's about. Bond sale. We had Scott Beardsley here November meeting, October meeting, to talk about a possible bond sale. You all approved us going forward with that. Our date has been set. We are going to try to sell bonds on February the 4th. I am hoping to go down to Little Rock and be there that day. I don't have to be, but I would like to be, just to see how it works. And if everything goes well, we could either have paperwork to sign at our next board meeting, or we could do a special board meeting. Scott and all of his team will be at the National Superintendent Conference on our next board meeting date. So he will not have anybody here. He said he would be happy to send the paperwork that day, so we can discuss that if you all can give me feedback if we want to go ahead and do it that night, if everything works out, and sign the paperwork, or if we would rather him come up. He's given me a couple of dates in February that he could come up for a special board meeting if we want to do that as well. So that's just FYI, and you can give me some feedback.
But there's a possibility that if we don't get what we want or need, that we would not even sell.
Correct. Okay. Correct. He said the bond market is looking favorable right now, but he's hesitant to give me any projections at this point because it could change. It's very volatile at this point as well. The last thing I have is, this is Board Appreciation Month. So it's kind of a celebration. I didn't say it in celebrations a while ago, but our governor has announced that January is Board Appreciation Month. And as part of that, I am supposed to let everybody know how many hours of training you all have accomplished this year or participated in. So I'm going to read a report here that talks about your training hours. Brian Lamb, our board president, who has been on the board for 22 years, was secretary in 99 and 2000, president since 2001. He is required to have 6 hours training this year. He received 12 hours of training, and he has 15 carryover hours because he's built up enough over the years to carry over 15 to this next year. Audra Farrell is our vice president. She has been a legislative liaison in the past. She has been on the board for 4 years. She was required to have 6 years of training, or 6 hours of training.
6 years of training.
She completed 6 hours of training. And so she is going into next year and will need 6 again next year. Connie Matchell is our board secretary, has been on the board for 3 years, was required to have 6 hours training. She had 6 hours of training, and she actually is carrying over 9 hours to this next year. Travis Jackson, 1.5 years on the board, our legislative liaison this year. He needed, because of timing of when he came on, he had to have 9 hours through December of this year, and he had gone through 21 hours. So he has 12 hours carryover for next year. Grant Lloyd has been a member for 10 months, and he needed 9 hours through December of next year. So he actually had a full year from now to get his 9 hours. He's already gotten 9 hours, and he has no carryover hours, but he's got everything he needs for next year already. So our board members put in a lot of time, not only in meetings and all the extra meetings that I make them go to, but they also put in a lot of time with training, and I appreciate their effort on our behalf and our community's behalf. So can we give a round of applause? And I mentioned that this was Board Appreciation Month. The governor has written a proclamation. I don't know if you all want me to read the whole proclamation, but a couple of things that I thought were important in here. Local board members are committed to the success of children, and they want to ensure that every child thrives through educational programs tailored to meet the individual needs of every child. That matches up with our mission and vision very well. Arkansas board members contribute countless hours to fulfilling their roles and responsibilities, setting the mission for the district, establishing and enforcing policies, overseeing school district finances, ensuring alignment with academic and facility needs, hiring and evaluating superintendents, and approving the selection of curricula so that all students are offered and taught required courses of study. As we were eating lunch at intermediate school today, some students in second lunch shift came and sat with us. And so they introduced themselves. And they asked, "Who are you?" And so I told them that this was our school board. And I said, "Do you know what a school board does?" "Nope." So we got to tell them, and it basically was that paragraph right there. School board members are required to participate in annual training, as we just went over. 1,500 local school board members in the state of Arkansas. None of them receive any compensation, so they put their time in and they don't get paid for it. And we appreciate them. And the governor has written a proclamation. Johnny Key, our director of education, wrote a separate proclamation, and I will share those with you if you would like. Thank you for serving on our board.
It's a pleasure.
And I think that concludes my,
Yeah, I'd like to say that I think the training this year has been really good.
I agree.
You know, it's not go and just put in time and sit in the seat. It's really been good information and training, so I appreciate, what is it?
ASBA.
ASBA that puts that on.
Yes. Okay. That concludes my reports.
All right. All reports?
All of.
Really?
Yes. No report from Mr. Carter and no report from Mr.
Oh,
Patrick.
well, I'm set back for the next two. Well, we shall jump right to action items then. And first up will be the December financials.
Okay, I promised a new chart, new graph every month until you told me to stop. I kind of failed epically on that this month. You have the same two that you had last month and no extra one. But
It was holiday.
thank you. Yes, yes it was. Yes it was. December marks us halfway through our school year. And so it's always kind of monumental to look back and see what we've done all year long. And I am happy to report that as far as total revenue, we have collected 55% of our projected income. So over half of what we expect to receive, we have received as of the end of December, which is wonderful. If you look over to your first graph, you will notice that we're gaining on where we were at this time last year, but overall we're about $100,000 less than, collections are down $100,000 less than they were this time last year. There's no rhyme or reason to it. It all depends on when people want to pay their taxes, and so we're kind of at mercy of the taxpayers. But, you know, when you're talking $9.5 million, we're pretty close to where we were last year, so I'm not complaining at all, at all. We have spent 44% of our teacher salaries, which we were the same place last year. When you look over at the salary and benefit chart, you'll see that that number has come down. Again, last month it was up because we gave out the bonus in November. December it's back to where it should be, or normal. And overall, with the exception of debt expense, the total monthly expenses, we spent 71% on salary and benefits for our employees. So I'm proud to report that still the majority of our expenses are on our people because we have good people. So do you have any questions? I am happy to report that the auditors left Tuesday.
They left.
Thank you.
Yes.
Thanks.
I move that we approve the treasurer's report.
Second.
All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Now we need to approve some teachers to work through their prep periods.
We've done this for a number of years. The first three teachers on the list, Jared White, Kendra Woodley, and Shay Gregory, are all agri teachers at the high school and or middle school. And then Tony Coffey is a high school science teacher. We pay through their prep period. They offer to do that, and that keeps us from having to hire an additional teacher occasionally that wouldn't have a full load of classes. So we needed the extra class. They were willing to teach it, and we paid them a little bit extra by law and because it's the right thing to do. So I would ask that you approve these four for the spring semester of 2020.
Motion to approve these four for their prep period work.
Second.
2 or 3 seconds. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Wow, that brings us to executive session. Correcto, following terms of, so the way we're gonna do this tonight is a little different than normal because we have the superintendent's evaluation to go over. So we're gonna go back first as a board, and then Mr. Wiggins will stay out here, and then we will invite him back in at some point. And then we will have to deal with the resignations after that, okay? All right, call ourselves back into open session. Let me get organized here. And first item is superintendent.
Are you ready for a motion?
I'm ready for a motion.
Okay. Motion to extend the superintendent's contract to an additional 1 year through 2022 to 2023.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Maybe we need a comment or two that we appreciate Jody's work this year. I think he's got some great ideas coming and nothing but upward for us, and we appreciate you and look forward to working with you more and more and more. Anybody else want to chime in with anything?
I think it's been a really smooth transition, and I appreciate that. I just see great things from your leadership.
Thank you.
Yep, same here. I've enjoyed watching you transition over and showing leadership, and the response it's been great. So, yeah, thank you.
Thank you for the opportunity.
You bet. Look forward to the next year.
Absolutely.
Now we need to go to item E, resignations.
Okay, we have 2 resignations. Alex Carey Castillo, high school and middle school assistant swim, assistant soccer, and classroom teacher. Carey was living in Bentonville, had an opportunity to go and be the head soccer coach at Bentonville High School, and had asked if we would allow that. We have a very good replacement. We usually don't do things like that in the middle of the year, let somebody have a contract, unless we can guarantee that we can replace them with somebody of equal character and equal ability. And so we will recommend someone for that position here in just a minute, and we found a good replacement, so we've let Carrie out of that contract. Or we are asking you to let Carrie out of that contract, I'm sorry. And then Whitney Green is middle school's reading interventionist, and kind of the same situation. Some things came up where Whitney had an offer from Fayetteville, and it was in her best interest to make that move. We made that same deal with her if we could find somebody suitable, and we have a good replacement in line for her as well that's on the docket tonight. So I would ask that you accept the resignations from Carrie Castillo and Whitney Green.
Motion.
Go ahead.
Motion to accept the following resignations.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Now let's hire some.
Okay, so hiring for the remainder of this school year, James Pollard is the person who we would like to take Carrie Castillo's place at middle school and in boys soccer. And Carla Thielemeyer is the lady we would like to replace Whitney Green with at middle school as a reading interventionist. Carla is coming to us. She has been at Pea Ridge prior, and then she had been out of education this past semester, trying something different. And James Pollard just graduated last May, I believe, from JBU with an engineering degree, and then decided he wanted to be a teacher and had gone back this fall and taken education classes. So both of them are certified and ready to go for the remainder of this semester. And then we have one more hire for the remainder of the year, Angela Stewart, intermediate school, 6th grade social studies, and that was created through a domino effect when one of our teachers became our transportation assistant director at the December meeting. So I would ask that you approve those 3 hires.
Motion to approve.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? All right. No emergency sick leaves?
None at this time.
And now a few student transfers.
We have 2 transfers into the district from Lincoln. Daisy Salazar, age 17, and Samantha Salazar, age 15. I believe they have already been attending here and through a move have asked that they be allowed to stay here. And I would recommend that we allow that.
I move that we approve the transfers of these 2 students from Lincoln.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? No transfers out?
None?
Better check my supplement and mine. And that brings us to other business.
Other business, we have a couple of things that I'd just like to announce. I talked about a domino effect when Todd Weinsberg had gone into transportation. David Moose slid over and took his place. He came from from language arts to the computer classroom that Todd had done. And then Jolie Sotalaro had moved from social studies to take David Moose's place in language arts. Angela Stewart, who we just hired, is taking Jolie Sotolaro's place. Classified hires, we have hired Adrian Anderson at Allen as an ESOL paraprofessional, and Mike Hodge as a half-time mechanic/technician at transportation. And then a classified resignation, Erica Watanabe in food service.
That concludes your other business? All right.
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
All right, all in favor? Aye. Meeting adjourned.